Hello, 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 Robin. How are you doing? Hi, happy wind down Tuesday to you as well. You're the first one here so far, but I know we have others coming soon. So, hope you had a good week. The last time we saw each other was a week ago tomorrow, and we got tomorrow coming up. Hey, hey. So while we're waiting for more people to come on, have you done any more blocks? I'm just curious. I'll be asking that question later on in the live, but since it's just the two of us, I thought I'd ask to see while we're waiting. And while we are waiting, this is a perfect time to welcome everyone that is watching from YouTube and from Facebook that's not in the chat and for some reason does not come into the chat. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for coming by to watch. Also, thank you to everybody that watches the replay because I know a lot of people do watch the replay. You're not able to come into the live or watch it live, so you watch the replay, and I do appreciate it. So thank you for that, and you are greatly appreciated. Hi, Latasha. How are you? How are you doing? So, Robin, you said you have finished the first eight. Okay, you're working on it, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Hi, Christian. How are you? How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. We're just chit-chatting a little bit until more people come in. As you know, Becky, hi. How are you? Um, you said you had one craft show that's over and you have a bacon fest this weekend. Okay. Well, you're busy because you were talking about all of the things that you had to make last week. So I know we kind of communicated a little bit where you said that you had a successful a successful festival earlier. And hi, Becky. No, Betty. Betty, how are you? Um, and hello, Karen. How are you? I have done how many? I have done Robin's quilt bag. I don't know how many you've done, but I guess you got my message, Karen. I sent you a message a few minutes ago. But anyway, you're here and not there. So apparently you got my message. And Robin, you had the flu since Friday, so you haven't been. Oh, that's too bad. I'm telling you, have you gotten your flu shot? I hope so. I haven't gotten mine, so I got to get mine because that is something that I do not want to do. So, Karen, you say you've done seven so far. Okay, well, that's good. Seven, eight, yeah. I'm not going to tell you how many I've done. Oh, not yet, anyway. But now, now, Robin, I know you are doing the North Pole. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, like I said, we're just chit chatting for a few minutes. Usually we start around um, 10 after. And we're talking about our so long that we do on Wednesdays. And we're working on the Christmas tree skirt from Designed by Juju. And it's 45 panels that have to be stitched out before we can even put them together. So that was my question. How many people have done, how many have they done? So, Robin, you're working on the North Pole. Karen, which one are you working on, the North Pole or Nativity? I don't remember. And Robin, you said you got your shot 2 days before you got the flu. Well, you know what? You could be reacting to the flu shot because sometimes people do get kind of feeling like they have the flu after they get their flu shot. So I don't know. You know how you feel and what's going on, but I do know that that happens sometimes that people do have a slight reaction to the flu shot and it makes them feel like they have the flu. But yeah, I got to get mine because I'm behind. I usually have mine by now. I usually get mine. Oh, excuse me, nose itching. I usually get mine by sometime in September. So I don't know exactly what happened this year, but I definitely will be trying to get that done pretty soon here. I need to go ahead and make an appointment and stop by someplace and get it done. So, who all do we have in here? Robin, Latasha, Becky, Christian, Karen, Marissa. How are you? Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. So we're picking up a few people and want to get started in a little bit about applique versus in the hoop and which one challenges you the most. And as you guys know, it's always something that is coming up in my life that make me think about these titles. And because we are working on this Christmas skirt, uh, that popped up in my mind because we're doing in the hoop and we are doing appliques. Rusty Needles and Twisted Threads. You just came in. Well, welcome. Welcome. And thank you for stopping in. You're new. Rusty Needles and Twisted Threads. I like that name. That's cute. I'm glad that you stopped in. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hope you will keep coming back. And feel free to pop in and talk and join the conversation because we are going to be talking about appliques and we're going to be talking about in the hoop. And several of us are doing some of both. I know the guys that are doing, well, the ladies, because we don't have any guys doing it. Um, the ladies are doing, we are doing the North Pole from Design by Juju are their nativity Christmas tree skirt. So the ones that are doing the nativity, they kind of got out of the chore of doing appliques. And hi, next to you, LLC. Hi, Mom. He says, that's my son. Thank you for stopping in. I do appreciate it. You're going to learn about appliquing and in the hoop projects tonight. And Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads, you say you've been watching for a while. Well, good. I'm so glad you have. And I guess you finally got a chance to fit it in your schedule to pop in live. So that's great. I do appreciate that. And like I said, join in the conversation. So it is 9 after 8. That's what I have. It's going to roll around, pop around in a minute. And we have quite a few people in here. So I am going to go ahead and get started on our conversation for tonight in regards to appliques and in the hoop. And as I was saying, what made me think about this is that we're doing both in this project, appliquing and doing in the hoop. And um, I know for a long time when I first started embroidering, I would say probably the first anywhere from 8 to 12 months, I would think, when I first started embroidery, I was just not comfortable with appliques. And now that I do them, it's kind of silly because they're not that difficult anymore. But initially, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand the positioning line, the tack down. I didn't understand that. And I know what happened and the reason um, I had that issue is, and that happens in life. If you don't get the proper instruction when you're trying to do something new, it kind of stalemates you. You just kind of get frozen and sometimes you develop that phobia. And I had bought this really cute um, elephant um, applique. And I started off to do it, and there were no instruction. There was no what's the tack down, what's the positioning, what's none of that was in there. And I didn't know what to do. I did not know what to do. I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to put the material. I don't know when to put the material there. I don't know anything. So I put it away and I didn't touch it anymore. And I didn't touch anything that had anything to do with applique after that until I decided to take this course with Eve back several years, few years back. Eve was doing more teaching and everything, and she was teaching. She had this class on appliques, and I signed up for the class and everything, and she did a really good job and explained the different appliques and how to do it and everything. And I got my confidence up to do one. And as I had mentioned earlier, last week probably, I think, or maybe a few weeks back, I just like the video that I put up with the jack-o'-lantern, the pumpkin that I put up where I got my design from Disorderly Thread. Well, my girlfriend and I decided that we were going to do these cute little tennis shoes because that was the thing that was back a couple of years ago. Everybody had the cute little tennis shoe purse and everything, and we found out where they got them from, and we bought the design, and we decided we were going to get together and do it. And we were doing it over the phone. We didn't do we did not do FaceTime or anything like that. We were just talking on the phone. She's on her machine, I'm on my machine. I think she did hers on the single needle and I did mine on the multi needle. But anyway, it's applique. And I messed up the first one. Ooh, I messed up that first one. But I got enough courage and I tried it again and I was successful. And so I did several more. And I've done several of their designs. And from that point on, me having to do it or making myself do it, I got more and more comfortable with appliques. And so now I don't mind doing appliques. They're actually kind of fun. And I even know how to cut really close and don't cut the thread and all of that kind of stuff. And so it's kind of fun. But appliques can be intimidating. And I'm pretty sure there probably are some people that are watching that are intimidated by appliques because especially if you're relatively new. And I know I belong to several Facebook groups and stuff, and there's a lot of new people out here getting new machines and getting started with embroidery and stuff, and they are uncomfortable with certain things like that. And some of the things are appliques that they are uncomfortable with. And the only way to get comfortable with anything in embroidery or life, period, is to just step out there and do it. So that was what I did. But also, there's a lot of different kind of appliques. It's not just one kind. So let me see. I had a couple of people stop in. Veronica Williams, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. And Evelyn, hi. How are you? Thank you for stopping in. Marina, good evenings. Thank you for stopping in. And who else has stopped in while I was talking? I think that is it. And Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads, you said we have better tools and education for our appliques now. And I don't know what was out there 2, 3 years ago. I just didn't know where to look, I guess, and because of that, I got stalemated. But that was my story. And Latasha, you say applique is fun after you learn the steps and you love it. The possibility is endless when switching out fabric. And Maureen, you say, I hope that you. Oh, okay, you're talking to Robin, but yes, it is fun, and I'm definitely having fun now with the project that we're doing. And Kristen, you have never done an in the hoop project. You can do appliques without problem, but you haven't done in the hoop. So you find that to be challenging because some people, are challenged by appliques, some people are challenged by in the hoop, and some people are challenged by them both. So I did a little about four slide um, PowerPoint, go over a few things about appliques and in the hoop, and we'll continue to talk about it. So let me put this up. So appliques versus in the hoop, which do you find more challenging? And again, like I said, some people are challenged by them both or one or the other. But they are or can be challenging until you actually get used to them and have that comfort level. And the art of appliques. There are various types of appliques, and this is what my research found. Smooth, what they call smooth appliques, raw edge, reverse applique, straight edge, satin stitches. And satin stitches are the most popular ones, and those are the ones that I'm most familiar with. And to be honest about it, I've not tried any other appliques other than the ones with satin stitches, and those are the ones that I love. I have seen them. I have seen them, and I saw Eve when she did them, and I don't think I'll have a problem doing them because of the raw edge. And let me go through this, and then we can talk about what each one of them is. So I did my trusty AI, and it says a smooth edge embroidery applique is the typical applique that you think of when you hear about embroidery applique. It involves adding a smaller piece of fabric to the top of your material and using stitches to keep it in place on your fabric, and it gives a clean, well put together look for your machine. So that's just in general a smooth edge applique. And like I said, it's the most common. Then we have the raw edge embroidery applique, and as the name implies, the fabric is left raw and gives a kind of a messy look or seamless edge. It is often used for smaller projects and can give a more realistic look. And you can get designs that are for raw, or you can do it on your own, especially on a sewing machine, where you just get a piece of fabric basically and stitch it on, and you don't do the satin stitch or anything. You can do any kind of decorative stitch that doesn't catch all the edges, and you have that edge part that kind of frays and everything. And that's basically doing exactly what it says. You're leaving it raw. That reminds me about patches a little bit. Now, the next one is reverse embroidery applique. And this one definitely reminds me of just the old fashioned patching. But in this type, instead of adding an extra smaller fabric to the top of the material and cutting it, you layer the fabric and trim the top layer of the material so the bottom layer of the material is exposed and shown. So I've seen it done, and it doesn't look difficult. Again, I'm not done it, but I'm going to. But you put the fabric, your applique fabric, underneath the main fabric, and you do your stitching, and then you cut it out, and it's reversed. So instead of you putting it on top, you actually put it underneath on the bottom. So that's reverse applique. And then, of course, all of us know what satin is. And there are primarily two different types of applique styles, one with a satin stitch finished edge and one designed to have a raw edge. A satin stitch finish completely covers the raw edge of the applique. Now it says that, of course, you can get so many different designs and everything that's out there available for appliques. I mean, there's all kinds of appliques and you can go to any design shop and get a design for appliques. Um, Machine embroidery applique, and I looked up what are some of the unique challenges of both in the hoop project and appliques. And what my AI said, precision, the process of sewing down fabric shapes on top of a solid piece of fabric with a sewing machine requires precision. And basically, as we know, it's the same thing as the next thing where it says technique. You have to be precise with how you cut out your applique once it's stitched down, and understanding the process and the step that goes with it, because you have your positioning line, which stitches out first. Now, this is normal. Positioning line stitches out first. That tells you where to put your fabric. Then you put your fabric down. Then you have your tack down, which tacks down or holds that fabric that you're putting on top of whatever in place. That tacks it down, usually goes around at least twice, sometimes three times, depending upon how it's digitized. Then you cut that all the way off and get all of the fabric away as close to the stitching as possible. And that's for your satin stitch. So when you're doing your satin stitch, it's going to catch the thread that's left, and you're going to have this beautiful seamless look where it has been stitched down. And that's what I love. And that was the part that I didn't understand, because I didn't understand positioning line and tack down. And if you have batting, then you have three. You got your positioning line for your batting. Then you put down your batting, cut that out. Then you put your top fabric on and stitch that. And then you cut that out. And then you do your satin or whatever. Now, when it comes down to the raw edge and the reverse, I'm not that versed in it because, again, like I said, I've not done it before. But it says the most tedious part, which is true, is your cutting. You must have some good applique scissors. You cannot do good applique work if you don't have good applique scissors. Now, I have several different pairs of applique scissors. I have little bitty ones. I have the curved ones. I've had the double curved ones. I have duckbill, which unfortunately um, I can't use because the right hand ones don't go under the fabric like in the direction it's supposed to, so it's basically useless. And the left hand ones, I'm not able to cut with. I've not mastered that, so I've not figured out how to get it to cut. So I don't use duckbill, even though I have two pair left and one right-handed duckbill. I have yet figured out how to use my left-handed duckbills, and hopefully I will get that figured out because I spent money on them and I want to use them because it helps you not cut your thread. So that's pretty much what applique precision, the technique, depending on whether or not you're doing raw, reverse, or satin, bean stitch, decorative stitch, however you want to do it. Your stabilizer, because you always have to have some type of stabilizer of some kind to hold everything in place. And then, of course, the most important thing is the cutting. You must be able to cut it correctly, or your applique is not going to come out as pretty as you want it to be, because nothing gets on my nerves worse than when I cut out my cloth, my material, and I've not gotten all of those edges, and then the stitches go around it, and I can see a piece of cloth hanging. Oh, that just upsets me so bad. I hate that. So here are some examples of satin stitch, which is the little birdies. They're so cute with the little ribbon for their tail. And then at the top where you see the butterfly, those are raw edges. The stitching is there's an edge to it, and you really may not be able to see it that well unless you're on a big screen or something. But if you watch it on a big computer or your TV, you'll be able to see the raw edge better. And as it says, the creativity, as somebody else mentioned, is endless. There's so much that you can do with appliques. And then raw and reverse edge. Now, the one that's at the bottom that says, I believe that says form, that's your raw edge. The one that has the yellow, looks like kind of like a tulip or whatever flower, that is your reverse edge. Now, on this particular one is reverse and satin, which I'm a little confused as to the why behind that. The one at the top looks like a bean stitch, so it's a raw edge um, applique. But those are just some examples of those type of appliques. And so, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about in the hoop. Now, it seems like mostly everybody in here said that they are comfortable with applique. Rusty Nails and Twisted said you learned to do applique 10 years ago when you first attended Applique Gateway in Texas. And every year you go back and learn all sorts of new techniques, and they even have a virtual session. Well, that's good. You have to let us know how to get in touch with the virtual session because I would love to learn how to do that. And Evelyn, you said you've made in the hoop little stuffed bears. I've not done stuffed bears, but I've done a lot of in the hoop stuff. And Rusty Nails and Twisted Thread, you said you've also learned a lot about the in the hoop stuff too. And you also use your brother's scan and cut and silhouette cameo to cut your fabric, which makes a game changer, which is true. However, I believe it is the one of those I was reading it and I can't remember right now which type of applique was suggested that you don't use your cut and scan because you have to have your design precise. And if the measurements aren't absolutely precise with your brother can your scanning cut or your silhouette or your Cricut or whatever cut machine that you're using, then you can mess up. Now I know that I was doing a project and I cut out my um, fabric for my applique with my Cricut, where I sent it from the Embrilliance software to Cricut, and I cut it out. And I have to be honest about it, it was not precise. It was not precise. It did not fit correctly. Uh, I think I had 3 or 4 letters. 3 letters. It was 3 letters, and 2 of them were correct. One of them was not. Now I know it probably was a user's error because I had never sent anything from Embrilliance to Cricut to do the cut for embroidery before, so I wasn't that well versed in how to get the the preciseness of it so it'll fit and everything gets covered. But after that, I just didn't mess with it anymore. And I've also heard people say, because I only did it that one time, so I don't have that much experience. But I've heard on YouTube with some people, Becky Thompson was one of them, was saying that sometimes it's easier for her to just go ahead and cut the fabric out versus sending it to her cutting machine and everything, unless she has a lot to cut, because the time that you have to figure out, set it up, send it, get it cut out, and get it back. You could have had the thing cut out and moved on. And I agree with that because um, if you're skilled at your cutting, it doesn't take that long to cut it unless you got something really intricate. Now, if you got an intricate design, then I think the cutting machine would be great, especially if you can get it calibrated correctly where the size fit, because those really intricate designs are difficult to cut by hand. Um, Carol, hi, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. You said your first applique was actually in the Hue bag. Mine was too. That little purse that I made, that's exactly what it was. It was an in the hoop project, but it was applique as well. So it was a double whammy. And hi Ann, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in and seeing you in a minute. And Cynthia, hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome. That name is new. Thank you for stopping by. And Rusty Nails and Twisted Threads, you said you've never been able to get your Cricut to cut well, so you gave it away. And I can't get the Cameo to work. So I'm comfortable with Cricut. I want to get rid of my Cameo because I'm just the opposite. I cannot get my Cameo to work to save my neck. I like Cameo Business Studio, but for rhinestones and stuff. But as far as that cutting, I've not been able to get that to work at all. Um, so though that's the applique. So in the hoop projects, now what are the challenges for in the hoop? Many. Hooping, um, it says, can be a challenge because it requires handling multiple loose layers of fabric and stabilizers simultaneously. It also requires you to keep those layers straight and wrinkle free. So of course you got to hoop it correctly and get it aligned, get the tension right. Use if you're using a regular hoop, you got to get it all tightened up and pressed in and everything. I don't use those unless I absolutely have to. I use my mighty hoop side, so I skip over that headache. Thank goodness. And it says fabric handling. If your fabric is not hooped properly, then it's going to cause problems, as we know. Um, so there's so many things that can happen. Your thread breakage, your bird's nest, design's not centered correct. All of those kinds of things because you didn't get it hooped correctly, poor registration, puckering, hoop burns, and all of that. And it also, which is probably the key, is the complexity of the project. And it generally requires you to add materials and notions at different points, but you should never have to unhoop or rehoop. And this can make these projects more complex compared to regular embroidery applique projects. Now, the pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern that I just did, or disorderly thread in general, uh, gives really good instructions, but there is a lot of pieces that have to go in layers to get the bag made because it's lined and there's no raw edges shown. So you have to know how to put the zipper, how to put the material, when to flip it over, when to put the batting in, when to flip that over. You turn it on the back. You got to put stuff there. You got to tape it down or pin it down, flip it back. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving parts. And if you're not comfortable within the hoop, that would make you a little nervous because I thought it was like I said, the first time I did it, I messed that thing up royally. Now I've done so many of them, it's not a big deal. When I did um, my little, not the little ones, because the little ones are easy, but when I did the little booklets like this, the covers, but the big ones, when I did the big composition covers on my 10 needle machine. And I didn't think to put the table up. Somebody mentioned that, and I said, Dodo, I should have thought about that. That would have made life so much easier. But there's a part where you're putting the spine together. You have the two sides, and you're putting the spine together. And you really have to hold it to get the seams together because it doesn't really seam it together. It top stitches it, it satin stitches over it while you have it held together. And if you don't have it held together correctly, you can mess the whole thing up. But if you're on a flat bed, single needle, or a flat bed of any kind, like the table would have been, then it's a lot easier. But I found that to be challenging. But I was up for the challenge. So in the hoop projects can be complicated. There are a lot of different things that you can do in the hoop. Most of the in the hoop projects I've done have been some type of purse, usually the ones that have been lined, and they're fun. They're fun. The one that we're doing right now is challenging. I haven't made any stuffies or anything like that. I have some designs. I just haven't made anything yet. So that's on my bucket list to make something. But I think again, like I said, as far as the challenge of in the hoop is to read your instructions carefully, look at a video if someone has done it already, and just kind of follow that if you can. but definitely read your instruction, because what I have found for me, even though I've watched someone do it, if I read the instructions step by step by step and go step by step by step, then usually I can do it okay, because you can go back and look at that and reread it and look at it and reread it until you understand what it is that they're trying to tell you. And sometimes the pictures are easy to decipher, and sometimes they're not. I've noticed that, but um, just get out there and try it. Don't be afraid, because it's just material. If you mess it up, do it again. That's the only thing I can say. Whatever it is, nobody's going to leave this earth because you messed up your in the hoop or your applique. Just move that one out the hoop and try it again. It is definitely something that you need to try. And somebody's getting congratulated. Don't know what. Let me see. Using Kimberbell was my first time doing in the hoop. Kimberbell, um, I did the Kimberbell pillow a year ago, and that was definitely a challenge. It was in the hoop, it was appliques, and it was also sewing. So it was a triple whammy right there. So Kimberbell will teach you. They will make you or break you. They will make you or break you. Now, my recommendation for anybody that wants to start learning how to do in the hoop is to start off with a simple mug rug. I think that's your easiest thing to do, is because usually it's a rectangle, a square, or something, and you're just putting the stuff together, the front and the back. You might have some batting in there. You might do a little quilting. You may even do some some applique. Depends upon your design. But the thing is, it is one of the most simple things to do as far as in the hoop is concerned. And that would be my recommendation for anybody that has not done it in the hoop before. I would recommend that you do that before you jump into a zipper purse. Not to say that a zipper purse is difficult, because I don't think they are, but get your feet wet. Get your feet wet, because I'm pretty sure. Matter of fact, I know I've done mug rugs before I did the that tennis shoe thing with the applique and all of that. Um, so let me see. Trying to figure out who was getting congratulated. I think I missed that. But anyway, um, oh, you won the design bundle. Okay. You were watching Creative Applique and won the design bundle. Well, congratulations on that. That's what it is. And I was aware of that um the creative applique doing her thing, and the giveaway and all that kind of stuff like that, but I was just too busy, so I didn't watch it. But congratulations, I'm so glad you won. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And rusty needles and twisted thread, mighty hoops are the best. That's all I use. That's all I use. And Cynthia, you say you're in the hoop by numbers person. um I don't exactly know what that means. and and you said Don had some amazing prizes to give away and lots of new products to check out. Okay, I'll have to look at the replay just to see what some of the new products are. I kind of saw her mention what she was going to give away and what some of the products and stuff were. So, yeah, it was exciting and everything, but I don't recall her mentioning anything new that I wasn't familiar with, although she probably did, because I'm sure she didn't uh, tell all her secrets when she was promoting to come and watch her 10th anniversary. It's her 10th anniversary um, show that she put on, and that's why she was doing the giveaway and stuff. And Marissa, you've only done in the hoop projects and have a video to show you. You're a visual learner, and you look for the video before you buy. I do the opposite. I buy and then look for a video. Maybe I should. If it looks a little bit too complicated, because there are some things that I was looking at. What was it? It was something. Oh, I know what it was. Embroidery Library, one of my favorite places to shop, always has sales. And I think tonight at midnight is the end of their sale that they're having 65% off on some things and a lot of Christmas stuff. And they have this beautiful in the hoop lace train. And I think it's 3 cars and 350 for each. I mean, that's a steal. And if I didn't give a one, I want that engine because it is so cute. So before I bought it, because I had it in my cart, and then something say, wait a minute, hold up. So I went and looked at the instructions, and that made me change my mind because I said, I don't feel like going through all of that. You know, putting I haven't gotten to the 3D mode yet. I'm gonna have to. Maybe we'll do a sew along thing where we actually do a lace in the hoop 3D something or another, which will force me to do that and actually put it together. But I'll do freestanding lace, but I've yet to do freestanding lace where you actually have to put something together, except for a Christmas tree, and I did that in a class. So I'm kind of away from that. That's not something that um, I jump off into real quickly. And uh, Marina, you said you're the same way as Marissa. You usually have the video playing as you're attempting to complete the project. I've done that too, lots of time. I've done that. That's the way to do it. And the tissue holder at Embroidery Library, great and simple introduction to in the hoop designs. Okay, well that's good to know. Again, it's 3D. And I think I have one that I bought a year ago because I was kind of going through some of my things that I bought because I was looking for a design. I thought I had gotten it from Embroidery Library, but it turned out that I actually got it from Urban Thread. So they're sisters. So I knew it was one of the two. But as I was going through some of the stuff that I had already purchased, I ran across, I don't know if it was a tissue holder or just a house, but I did run across a 3D that I bought. And I was like, well, I haven't done that one yet, obviously. And Carol, how are you doing? And you said you did the key fobs in the hoop with your new brother 10 needle and was so much easier and professional looking than your single needle flatbed. Okay, that's good to know. I've done a key fob. I don't think I did it on my flatbed. I don't think I've done them on my flatbed now that I think about it. Um, Interesting. So you thought it looked better. And Marina, I'm still working up to the Converse sneaker in the hoop bag. You brought the project. That's step one. That's the one from Disorderly Threads that you and I had talked about a while back that we were going to get together and do. We can get together and do that. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. It is. If you're not comfortable within the hoop, it can be challenging then. I'm just going to be honest about it because, like I said, that's the one that I messed up the first time I tried. It was a total flop because I didn't understand the directions. But now I understand the directions, so I'll be more than happy to walk you through it because once you understand the directions, you can do it, and it won't be that difficult. And you said you bought that pillow, but you haven't done it yet. Now, what pillow are you talking about? And dog bandanas are so easy in the hoop. I haven't done one of those yet. Marissa, you have the Converse sneaker. in the hoop, and you also found a video on it. Um, was it a single needle or a 10 needle? Because I saw when I first did mine 3 years ago, I found a video for the disorderly thread Converse sneaker in the hoop. I think that's the one you're talking about. And it was done on a single needle. Very informative and good. I saw one that was done on a multi needle and confused me to death. So I followed the one that was done on the single needle, but equated that to my multi-needle, and I was able to work through it. So the second time was a charm. But again, um, I'll be more than happy to work with you guys with following the directions and doing it. And Marina, you said it was easy after you do more of them, and you've done. You think you've done 30 of them. Okay, that's Becky. Yeah, the more you do of anything, it's going to be easier. And Cynthia, you said you did an applique on a T-shirt and made the error and got the sleeve caught. The biggest mistake and lesson learned, had to take all the stitches out. Embroidery growth moment. Yeah, you can do that. I've caught some stuff before myself. Trust and believe. That's all part of learning how to embroider. Learning how to embroider. That's what it is. So, think this is my last video, my last slide, and this is the challenges of in the hoop, which we've talked about. And I put this up, and all of these designs have come from Design by Juju. And I wanted to put it up because she is the in the hoop queen. If you want anything in the hoop, if you go to Design by Juju, you can just kind of pick through it. Now, um, it's a group of us that are working on the first one, which is the Christmas tree skirt, as you guys know. Now, this one is the gingerbread one. I don't know if you all can see it well enough. And none of us are doing that one. But it's the same concept. And it is in the hoop and applique. This particular design is in the hoop and applique. The next one is a in the hoop Santa Claus, and it's 3D and it moves. It's the front and the back. Now I just bought that one, so I will be doing that one. And I don't know if we'll get it done for Christmas, because I was just going to say we might could do it together as a group, some of us, but we don't know when we're going to get through with this skirt. It might be Christmas. Who knows? So I'm not gonna put it, but I definitely intend to do that Santa Claus. I'm gonna try to work that in, and then the Christmas stockings. Now I've not made any Christmas stockings from scratch. I have put names on my Christmas stockings, but not um, just made these by scratch. But these are in the hoop. And I'm thinking about maybe doing that, but it won't be this year. It won't be this year. And then, of course, the last one is just a simple mug rug, but it's also applique. It's in the hoop and applique mug rug. And again, all of these came from Design by Juju. So, if you're interested in any of that stuff, I'm not an affiliate. I just buy her stuff. But I thought these were so cute and perfect examples of in the hoop things that you can make. There are so many. The AI mentions key fobs, earbud holders, um, um, sanitizer holders, purses, bibs, sleep masks, plush toys, and it goes on and on and on and on. There's almost no end to the things that you can make in the hoop. Oh my goodness, Marina, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, and Marina, you said, girl, I'm not sure you are ready to hold my hand doing that project. I can do it. You'll be fine. It's not going to be that hard. It's not going to be that hard. And Rusty Needles and Twisted Threads, you said search, bless you, at Embroidery Library for the easiest in the hoop. And Marina Beyond the Frame has some nice 3D lace designs. Great tutorial. Okay, I have to look up Beyond the Frame. I'm not familiar with them. Uh, Trying to catch up on some of these. Do you remember the video you found? What's the company called? I hate bad instruction. Yes, bad instructions can really get on your nerves. Definitely get on your nerves because it doesn't help you to do it frustrates you because you can't get your stuff done. You cannot get your stuff made if you get bad instructions. It for me it frustrated me so bad when because that's what held me up with learning how to do appliques because I had no instructions. And then like I said, when I was doing that sneaker purse the first time, and I was looking for a video that did it on a 10 needle machine, found one, but this person that was not good instruction. I put it that way. It just was not good instruction, and the person tried, but it wasn't. When you don't know how to do something and people are doing it as if you know how to do it, that makes it frustrating because if I'm watching you to learn how to do something, I need my hand held, or it doesn't work for me. But yeah, that's in the hoop and appliques. And I just want to mention because as I mentioned earlier, those of us that are doing the North Pole Christmas tree skirt for our sew along project, not only is it an in the hoop project, it is also a um, applique project. And so you got both of them. Now, I have to admit that I've gotten hooked. I have gotten hooked. I am having so much fun with this skirt. I could just zoom right through and get done with it if we weren't doing this as a sew along because when I do one, I'm ready to do the next and the next and the next. And I have started working on the appliques because I know that they're going to take the longest to do. And so I did one and I said, okay, I'm just doing this to test it out and see how it's going to work, how it's going to look. So I ended up doing two. So I said, okay, yeah, I just wanted to see how this is going to look. So I haven't done, did I do three? One, two? I think I only did two. But what I have done, and this is a recommendation for any of you guys that are doing the North Pole, because I don't know where you are, and we'll find that out tomorrow. But any of you that are doing the North Pole, when you're getting ready to do your appliques, this is what I'm doing because what I have found to be time consuming over and above the cutting part. The cutting part for me is not that time consuming, to be honest about it. It's not that bad at all. What's time consuming for me is picking out the doggone fabric that you want to put on your design. That's time consuming because I want to figure out what's going to be cute, what's going to look right. I got a lot of scraps and stuff that I'm going through, and some of them are Christmases and some of them aren't Christmas, but the colors are Christmas and they work. So I have this basket full of scraps that I'm going through, trying to figure out which one of these am I going to select for my applique. So that's one. The second thing is your thread. Some of those projects have 30 and 40 thread stops. And if you're using a 10 needle or a multi needle, then you load up your thread. But you need to load it up. For me, I'm trying to stay within 10 colors. I'm not wanting to switch out a lot of colors, uh, back and forth. Although I've had to do that because I didn't have orange on my thread carriage. But you got to have orange for the carrot on the snowman's nose. I can't put any other color up there, so I was forced to switch out some color and stick that orange up there so I could get the nose. But luckily, that was at the end of the applique, so it wasn't a big deal. But I'm trying to stay within those 10 colors. Now, if I switch appliques, I don't mind changing the colors, but I'm talking about doing the process of the one applique itself that may have 30 or 40 different color stops, and out of those 30 or 40 color stops, it may be 16 different colors or more. If I followed all those colors, then that means when I get to number 10, I got to stop and switch out and put 6 more different colors in there so I can finish. I don't want to do that. That's too time consuming. I don't want to do that. I want to do whatever I got to do with those 10 colors I got on there for that particular block. Whatever that block is, these are the 10 colors I'm going to use, and I'm not using anything else. If something says chrome, I'm using silver. If something says dark gray, I'm using black. Those are the things that I'm doing because I don't want to have to switch stuff out. And so what I ended up having to do is write down everything. And I know you can't see it, but as I told you guys last week, I created my binder. And I have all these pages in here that I'm using, and it's very helpful. But what I started doing with the appliques is, and I don't know if, yeah, you can. Let me see. There you go. Okay. See where I have written down my colors. I have my fabric cut out, all my pieces, and I have it clipped to that particular block. And I've done the same for the next block that I have. And I haven't done them all. I've only done 3 of these like this. But got some green in here so you see how that's going. It's not green. But anyway, they think it's green. But that's what I've done. I went through, I decided what colors I'm going to have, what needle number is going to be on, and then chose my fabric, got them all cut out, put my heating bond on the back of all of that stuff, and I have it in my little binder here. And the reason I did that is because we only have 2 hours a night. And it takes 2 hours just to stitch the thing out. Just about. You don't have time to do that during our live. So to get ahead of time in order to be organized, and I know, Ann, you said very organized, but that was the only thing that made sense to me in order to make it work time-wise. Because when I sat and stitched it out, I realized how long it took me to pick the fabric, pick the thread, put the thread into the machine, what number and all of that kind of stuff, and then start stitching. Your 2 hours are gone, just like that. So I said, in order to get at least one whole one done, maybe 2 if I'm lucky, I had to have a system. So that's the system that I have come up with. So that is just my recommendation or suggestion. If anybody is interested in that, and we can talk about it tomorrow more more explanation. But I just wanted to share that because I said that's what I decided to do for my sanity. And so and Linda, now you coming up here anyway. Thanks for making. We'll talk tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow, Linda. Okay. Um, and rusty needles and twisted thread used. Yes, you could spend a month of Sundays figuring out. Yes, yes. You put this together, putting that together. Look, okay, this look better. That look better. No, yeah. Where's that piece? I know I got a piece of fabric that looks like this. Start digging through your little stuff, and yeah, you spend a whole lot of time just looking for the fabric. So I said, we don't have time for that. And then you got to find the thread that's gonna match the fabric. Does this shade look better than that shade and all that stuff? And then when you're putting it on the machine, you gotta have, you're putting it on the machine and then you got to program it with the right number. So that's more time. So that's why I decided to come up with that system for myself. Um, and Robin, you said I don't mind changing thread colors, which is good since I only have a single needle machine. And bless your heart, because you got a single needle machine and you are doing the North Pole. So you're doing a lot of thread chain, but you're used to it because you quilt and all that kind of stuff. So you're used to that. And Becky, that's a good idea. I like that binder. And you don't mind changing thread either, easy peasy. And Linda, you say it's a great idea. Marina, bless your soul. That's why I chose the tree skirt that is. Yeah, you chicken out. You got that nativity. And Linda, you said you too, huh? And then Ann, I stitch out 5 freestanding lace bookmark at a time, and it takes about 90 minutes. Yeah, freestanding lace bookmarks are time consuming. I was looking at some freestanding lace on Embroidery Library, and the one that I really liked were gifts, stacked gifts that were bookmarks, but each gift was a different color. I nixed that too because I said there's more thread changing. It's more thread. And not that I dislike changing thread because there's no big deal when you got a single needle. But the thing was, not only did I have to change the top thread, well, I don't have to change the top thread at program, I got to change my bobbin thread. I got to stop, change the bobbin thread stitch, stop, change the bobbin thread stitch, so forth. Because when it's freestanding lace, you want, of course, as you know, you want your bobbin to match the top. So I didn't want, and then you got the wind bobbins to match and stuff. I, mm-mm, I didn't want to do, I didn't want to do all that work. I try not to do a lot of work if I don't have to, unless I'm having fun. If I'm having fun, then I don't mind doing the work. Cause like this project that we're doing now as a group, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying that. So I'm addicted to that. That doesn't feel like work to me right now. It feels like fun. So I look forward to tomorrow. I'm looking forward to doing some more panels. I'm looking forward to the applique to see what it's gonna look like when we're done because they're so doggone cute when you get done. I tell you, I can understand why if you don't get this design on sale, it's $50, and I can understand why it's $50 because that's a lot of work that this person put into this design and digitize. I mean, right, every little bitty detail for these little houses and elf and the cookie shop and the quilting shop and the trains. It's just so many little details that she put into it. The thought process. It is so cute. So cute. So it's well worth the money that she's charging, even though I assume most of us got them on sale. And I think I read something where she said that's her highest selling design during the holidays is the North Pole Christmas skirt. Believe it or not, out of all the stuff that she has on her site to sell for the holiday, her North Pole Christmas skirt is her highest sale. And I can see why, because it's so beautiful when you're done, number one. And number two, it is addictive when you start doing it. It's a lot of fun because you're anticipating what it's going to look like and all of those kinds of things. So I'm really happy that we decided to do this little project. I do. And Linda, you said, wow, Rom, I hate changing thread. Well, see, that's why I ended up getting my 10 needle machine, because it wasn't that I hated changing thread. It was just that it was time consuming, because with a single needle machine and color intensive designs, which is what I always end up buying, something that had at least 20 colors or more, that's 20 or more thread changes. And so you're constantly, you stitch it while you change thread, stitch it while, and then the thread breaks. So you can't get your automatic thing to work. So now you're trying to thread the needle individually, and then your bobbin runs out, and you got to do that, and you got to stop. It's just time consuming, very time consuming. So that was the thing that motivated me to um, to get the machine, and I'm glad I got it, because even with the machine, as you can see, I'm still saying I don't want to have to change the thread. That's why I want the 15, 16 needle machine, bigger hoop. That would be my dream. I wish brother would come up with one of those machines. That would be great. That would be so great, because a lot of your designs are at least 12, 13, 14, 15 different colors or more, depending upon what it is, and where you're buying. If you go to embroidery by uh, embroidery library, she has a lot of colors in her designs, a lot of colors, and you can do a lot of changing. And and you say it's called Embroidery World, yeah. Oh, I guess you're telling somebody the name of something. So that was my take on In the Hoop and on Appliques. So the bottom line is, I hope that anybody that has not done either one of those, one or the other or both, that you will go ahead and give it a try, because you will be surprised as to how well you will be able to do it. Those of you that have the sneaker design, and I'm assuming it's the one from Disorderly Thread, because that was the most popular design back when I bought mine a few years ago. I We can get together and talk about it. So sometime after the Christmas skirt thing is done, maybe we can get together some kind of way and do that as a project, because you will be totally surprised as to how easy it is once you understand the process. And since I've done it several times, I'm comfortable with the process. It's not as difficult as it looks, because it does look intimidating when you just look at it and you've never done it before. But it really isn't as intimidating as it looks, because I just did the jack-o'-lantern. If you look at my video, the last one I put up, I got that one from Disorderly Threads. I was surprised at how quickly I was able to do it, because I hadn't done one in a while. I hadn't done one in over a year. And I was like, shoot, I forgot how to do this thing. But once I got into it and got the rhythm going, it was not an issue at all. Not at all. So we'll be able to work that out. I'll be more than happy to walk you through it. More than happy. We can walk through it. And Linda, you say you're short and you have to jump up every time so to put another thread on top. And the 10 needle, if the thread breaks, I have to. Okay. How short are you, Linda? I'm short too. I'm 5'2". Now, do you have the brother machine? One. Two, do you have the brother cart? Because when I got my machine and the cart, they were kind enough to put my cart together when they brought it to me, but it was too tall. And I had my son and I took the machine off the cart and he let the cart down. So it's adjustable in height. And he let it down so it would be easier for me to get to the thread. Now it still is a little tall for me, but not to the point where I have to step on a ladder or a stool or anything like that. So again, check and see if your cart is adjustable where you can let it down some so you don't have to do that. Because that is yeah, that is frustrating. Now, my issue is not so much of the fact, and I figured that out too. But I want to be in a room big enough where I can have my machine where it's out and it's not up against anything, where I can do a 360. If I can do a 360 around my machine, I would be happy because I can get to the back and do the threading without having to reach over it or do this and that, and hopefully don't get the threads twisted and all of that. So you're 4 feet 6. Oh yeah, you're short. It has wheels on it and it's not adjustable. Okay. Well, I get it. So being that short, yeah, I can understand where you have to. Well, you're not going to be able to get anything that's going to be. Everything that you get's going to be way too tall for you if it's on a stand because all of the stands are tall to a degree. All of them are going to be taller than that. So I do understand, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I get you. So you try to put everything up there that you got to deal with. And if the thread breaks, like you said, then you have to climb the ladder. If you have to, redo it or something like that, and have to if it breaks where you have to rethread it. That's the other thing. I hate when it gets to the point where I have to rethread the whole thing. Although the brother is easy to thread, it's not a big deal. I just don't want to have to rethread it all the way through if I don't have to put it on the floor. If you put it on the floor, I think it would be okay. I don't think you'll be too short if you put it on the floor. Then you be complaining about you got to bend over too much. Because if you like me, bending over is worse than having to climb up on something. Having to bend down and do all of that would just no, that would not work. Um, find you a short table. Find a short table and put it on that so you can get your height adjusted where you're comfortable. That's what I would do. And rusty needles and twisted thread, you're headed to bed. Thank you for coming. Please come back. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you have a wonderful night. Come back next week. Yeah, so Linda, if I were you, I would just see if I could find a table, a sturdy table, or maybe somebody that can build you one, or you can find one at a Goodwill or something like that, or something where you can saw the legs down or something. And you said we need to chat one day. Yes, yes. Get in touch with me and we can figure out a way to chat. That would be great. I would love that. And you're headed to bed as well. Good night, Ann. You take care. Are you still gardening? Because it's getting chilly now. I don't know. But anyway, good night. You have a great rest of the week. See you next time. Talk to you next time. So, yeah, you thought about a coffee table. Yes. A nice sturdy coffee table. Yeah. A nice sturdy coffee table I think would be great for you. That way you don't have to climb up so high and do that. You'll be more comfortable doing your work. Because I mean that's another thing that can deter people from learning. Because if you're not comfortable in your workspace in your area, then of course you're going to not want to do things, and then not want to try things. You kind of stay in your own little bubble here instead of venturing out because you think it's going to be even more task oriented, because you got to worry about climbing up on ladders and all that kind of stuff. Plus you have to learn how to do something new. Hi Leslie, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You know we'd be here. Veronica, did I speak to you? I don't know if I did or not. I probably did and just was talking and forgot all about whether or not I spoke to you or not. But I don't know. I'm passing by and I don't see your name, but probably did. Probably did. So, uh, oh, and so you still have the greenhouse and garden. Okay. Okay, you're probably gone by now. But anyway, yeah. Linda, but like you said, then I'll be going to the chiropractor for your back. Exactly. All that bending over is not good. Not good at all. I know I can't do it. I can't do it with my bad back. So check out the coffee table, something like that. Make yourself a lot more comfortable. So now, because you're working on this project as well, and I hope you got your fabric in. Just thought about that. I hope you did. Okay, so you said you've been quiet, Veronica. Okay, I was just wondering. I thought I had spoken to you, but I could not remember if I had or not. And Leslie, we were just talking just briefly a little bit about the sew along for tomorrow night. And I had asked a couple of questions about how many panels people have done. And I know I've done two two of the appliques. I did the first one. I did the train. The train is number two. What was the first one? Shoot. I don't even remember what the first one is. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, the Christmas tree lot. That's it. The Christmas tree lot. The Christmas tree lot and the train station. That's what I did because I'm doing the North Pole, but I think Leslie, I think you're doing nativity, so you don't have to worry about that. And hi, Deborah, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Don't worry about being late. And what sorority? You probably told me. Are you the one that's a Zeta? I think you did tell me that before, that you're a Zeta, if I remember correctly. Because sometimes I can remember things and some can I cannot. Oh, so you got your fabric. So you're gonna wash it, I guess, for the shrinkage or whatever. I don't wash my stuff. I hope I know they said, "Oh, you're Delta." Okay, you go. You're Delta. Okay. Um, I know a lot of Deltas. I got Deltas in my family. I have Zeta in my family. Delta, AKA. I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably most Delta. Who else is it? Who's the blue? Oh, the blue is Zeta. Okay. Yeah. So I got a little of everything. A little of everything. I'm a nun fi nun, so I'm not. It really shrunk? Really? Wow. Well, I'm hoping mine does not shrink, but to be honest about it, I don't intend to have to wash it because I hope I don't get it dirty, even though it will be on the floor and it's white. But I'm hoping I'm not going to have to wash mine because I would not be happy if I have to wash it and I put all this work into it and it shrinks, which you probably did something good because I think I read somewhere the recommendation of washing, but I never wash my fabric. I never wash my blanks either. Because if I'm making something for somebody, I'm not going to wash it before I get it to them. So I don't. But I'm glad you did because you said it's shrunk. But I'm glad you bought enough to compensate for that. So that's good. So you'll have your fabric and you'll be able to do some stitching tomorrow night. So that's good. That's good. And Karen, are you still on here? Because you've been quiet tonight. If you're still on here, did you get your and I'm assuming you did, but did you get your video to working? Hopefully you did. Hopefully you did. And Robin, I don't pre-wash. Some people do and some don't. Yeah, I don't pre-wash. I don't either. Linda, you say you have a 3-year-old granddaughter. Well, yeah, that will do it. And you keep her through the week so she can get things dirty for you. And Leslie, you say you're doing the nativity and you've done 9 of the inner blocks and you're going to do. I'm going to do the remaking 6 of them. You're going to remake 6 of the inner blocks? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to do the remaking of the 6 of the inner block. Well, I bought extra fabric for unexpected boo-boos. Remaining. Okay. All right. Got it. So you're going to do the remaining 6 of the inner block. Okay. Then you'll have your, I don't know why I couldn't figure that out. 9 and 6 is 15. I should have been able to figure that out, but I brain fart. But so you'll have your 15 done, and then you'll be able to go ahead and get started on your next area. But that's good. You all chicken out and would not do the North Pole, but I'm telling you now, you're missing out because that North Pole is fun. That North Pole, the appliques, even though it's work, they're so cute that it's addictive when you do. I've done two, and it's taken everything in me. I'm glad tomorrow is Wednesday because I have already pre-prepared 3 of them because I want to do them so bad. But I said I'm not gonna do them. I'm just gonna get myself ready for tomorrow night. Because with the applique, I know you just came on late. There's a process that I'm going through to make sure I have everything ready. And Marina, good night. You'll see. Okay. Good night, Marina. You have a good night. And thank you again for the super chat. I do appreciate that so much. You never know how much I appreciate that. And Leslie, you figure out if you do 9 a week until you complete the 45. Yeah. It's going to take no less than 6 for real. No less than 6. And Linda, you say you have the North Pole to do. Oh, you're doing it for your daughter. Okay. Well, that's sweet of you. So you're going to do it and give it to your daughter. I'm going to do mine and give it to me. I'm not giving mine to nobody. I'm not. And I know, oh, that's what I was going to say. I was um I was in the fabric shop the other day. I was in Joanne and Hobby Lobby. Basically, buying an eighth of a yard of material for the applique. I said, I'm going to go out and look for a cute little Christmas material, but I only need enough for applique, so I don't need to buy all of that. So they look at me crazy when I say I only need an eighth of a yard, but it's all I need. And so I was showing the lady in Joanne what my project was, and she was saying, you know, wanting to know more about it. So I looked it up to show her a picture of the skirt. And as I was looking, I kind of Googled it in and stuff. I found a site where somebody was actually selling them. And now I don't know if they're selling them or just selling the one, but they had one on sale, which was the North Pole for $350. That's what they were selling it for. And I said, that wouldn't be enough money for me. So I'm making mine for me, and I can't see myself making it for anybody else unless it was a close relative, and they would have to buy everything and pay me. They would have to buy everything and pay me because it's time consuming and it's expensive. So $350 is a lot of money for a Christmas tree skirt, true enough. But to be perfectly honest about it, I think it's worth more than $350, especially the North Pole, for all that is involved. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know, but I was surprised to see that someone was selling it. And then when I saw the price, and the lady was saying, "Oh my goodness," I said, "Oh, it's worth every penny, if not more. It's worth every penny of that." And that's for sure. That's how I felt when I did that Kimmerbell pillow, which I'll show you guys tomorrow night. I pulled it out, so I'll have it tomorrow night to show you guys the Kimmerbell that I did. When I did that project, I um I was saying, because my husband's always telling me, you need to make him himself. You need to make it himself. And I was like, no, I'm not. Nobody's going to pay me what it's worth. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm going to make these for people. I don't even want anybody to ask me to make one for them because I don't want to do it. It's not worth the they can't pay you for your time that it takes. As I was telling him, I said, with the appliques, one applique took me an 105 minutes, and that did not include the cutting time. When you stitch it and cut it and put it back on the machine, it didn't include that time, nor did it include the prep time to be able to put it on the machine and stitch it. So we're already talking at least 2 hours. Now, if you did 8 hours worth of work at 2 hours, that's 4 panels. How long is that going to take you to make one skirt? For $350? No, no. Becky Thompson from Power Tools and Threads said it took her 10 days. Now just divide, that's $35 a day. Mm-mm. No, that's not enough money. So you really can't in my opinion, you can't put a price on it because nobody's going to want to pay you what it's really worth. That's just how I feel about it. So I would not do it for anybody for pay unless it was a close, and I mean a close relative. And again, they would have to buy everything: fabric, batting, SF 101, thread. They would have to buy stabilizer. they would have to buy everything and pay me. And they relatives. um, Leslie, you say you haven't purchased the North Pole pattern yet, but you'll do it next year. And Robin, you say you're worth it. And Linda, you say I'll let you know after it's done whether or not you're gonna give it away. And Robin, you said that's how quilts are. Nobody wants to pay what they're worth. Right. Because they don't understand. I remember when I first had, before I started embroidery. And of course, I don't quilt and all of that, but I appreciate beautiful quilts. I've seen some absolutely gorgeous quilts. And I've seen prices of these quilts. And at first, I was like, oh my goodness, that's expensive. But when you stop and think about the time that it takes to put it together and all that goes into it and cutting out all those pieces and putting, if you're doing the stars and all of that stuff that you guys do, whatever you're selling it for is not enough money. It's not, they can't pay you what it's worth. And Linda, you said that's fair, but people don't see it that way. Of course, they don't, because they don't do it. And that's the thing. People, I did not appreciate the cost of embroidery until I started embroidering, because I've always loved it, but I've always thought it was expensive, because I've always wanted monogram shirts and stuff like that, robes, what have you. So, oh, I would love that, towels. I would love all that monogram stuff. I thought it was so cute, really nice. And then when you look into buying, it's like, oh my goodness, that's expensive. But I know why. I know why now. And people don't want to pay you for your work. They don't want to pay you for your work for the simple things you do. Like if we put a monogram on a towel or something, a logo on the chest, chest or something like that. That's not a huge time consuming project, but it's still time. It's still your overhead expenses and all of that. So it's worth the price, whatever that price is that you charge. It's worth it. Now just imagine adding all of, everything that we're putting into this project that we're doing. And then somebody says they don't want to give you $350 for it. Well then, okay, that's fine. I don't want you to give me $350 for it, because I want five. You want to hear the truth? I want $500 for it, because I've already spent over $100 just on the material. And then all of this other stuff that I'm doing all the time. If I worked on this project every day, all day long, it's still going to take a good week and a half at the least to get it done. At the least. And that's working on it all day long, every day of the week, including the weekend. That's how I see it, because even after we get done doing all the embroidering stuff that we have to do, we still got to sew. We got to sew it and put it all together. So there you go. There you go. But I just thought that was interesting to see somebody that was actually selling it. I was like, okay. And then I saw another picture was sent to me where someone had made two of them. And I said to myself, who in the world made two? Huh. I don't know if I do another one. I might would do another one. I might would do another one. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do another one. But if I did another one, that one would definitely be a gift, because I don't need two of them. But it would again be a gift to someone very special, because it's a lot of work and expense. And I have made lap quilts as gifts, and I have made a T-shirt quilt, and it took a few years to complete. You went to Pennsylvania Amish area, and their quilts are where in the $1,000 range. Yes, I was gonna say, I've seen some quilts for $1,000 plus, and it's worth every penny. It's worth every penny. It's yes, it's worth every penny. I can see that. And like I said, I've seen some. I didn't get a chance to look at the quilts at the expo. I wish I had gotten a chance to go around and look at. I saw a few, but I didn't get a chance to see, the whole gallery. But there are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful quilts, and I've always admired them, and I've always wanted one. I just don't want to make one, and I know I can't afford one. So, uh, Linda, you said Lily Ann would love the North Pole. I'm assuming that's your granddaughter. She would. I mean, it's really cute. It's really, really cute when you get all the little appliques out with the little elves and the snowman and all the little stuff like that, and you put all your different fabrics and so forth. And I'm using some um, metallic threads as well. So yeah, and that in itself brings the price up for me. That wouldn't be something that I would do routinely for someone else unless they paid the extra for it. But I'm doing it for myself. And Robin, you said uh, she will. And your 5-year-old granddaughter has been watching you make it, and she loves it. I'm sure she does. Are you gonna? Is that? Didn't you say you was making that for your daughter as well, Robin? I think you said. So I know she's gonna love it because I mean it's really cute. It's really cute. The reindeers, the Santa reindeers, they're fun. The Santa reindeers. And Linda, you said the Amish, they do all their quilting by hand. I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. They do all their quilting by hand. But any of those kinds of intricate projects that we do are worth the money. Oh, you're just making it daily. Okay, I got you. I got you. But yeah, she's gonna love it around the tree. I'm gonna love mine around my tree too. I'm a. I was. That's one reason why I looked at that in the hoop for the what is it? The stockings, because I think I'm gonna have some extra fabric, and I'm thinking about making some stockings. I don't know. I might end up just getting a pattern because I think the end of hoop one is gonna be too small. I think they're gonna be too small. So I might just get a pattern or cut a pattern from an old one or something like that, and just make me some stockings and to go with my tree, my skirt. And Leslie, you say you saw quilts. You saw quilts at the expo last year with the African Queen design, and you found a pattern on Pinterest and will make it sometime in the future. Okay, I didn't know you quilted. You did quilting. Um, and Linda, you said the Amish don't have any new machines like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And Veronica, who makes those kits? What kits are you talking about, Veronica? Because I know there are some quilting kits and there's some panel kits. Now, for me, with a quilt of any kind, it would have to be the panel. All of that other stuff where you have to put the pieces and stuff together, I'm not into that. I'm not. Now I would do the trapunto quilting and put those together because I like that. And you don't have to do all these little blocks and stuff. You just can, whatever size that is that you do, and however big you want your quilt to be. So you're just basically embroidering those and then you put them together. At least that's how I see it. That I would do. I wouldn't mind making a quilt or a lap quilt or something like that. doing those things because they're gorgeous. But see, the embroidery machine is doing the work. I'm not doing the work. I'm not doing all that cutting and piecing and stuff like that. That's the part that I don't want to do. But what kits are you referring to, Veronica? Because I'm not sure. I don't know exactly what you're referring to. Did Karen must have left, I guess, because I don't think she responded to my question. But that's okay. I just hope she got her video up and running so she'll be able to do her thing tomorrow. And Becky, are you going to be with us tomorrow too? Because I know you weren't able to get your video working um, last week either. Oh, tree skirts. We're getting our skirts from Design by Juju. I don't know if you've ever done anything, bought any of their designs or anything, but Design by Juju has several Christmas tree skirts. And I don't know if they're still on sale, but they the regular price is $50, but they sell them when they're on sale for 27. So I'm not sure if they're still on sale. And Becky, you said you tried to make the Mabel Bacon suckers for this weekend. Okay. So you'll try to be on tomorrow night, is what you're saying? But yeah, Veronica, check out Designs by Juju and the Christmas tree skirt. And they have the nativity. The nativity you don't have any applique, but I think all the rest of them you do. And I know they have the gingerbread, the farmhouse, the North Pole. I think that's it. I think those are the four that I'm familiar with. But I think the nativity is the only one that does not require um, embroidery. Not embroidery, applique. It's embroidery on all the tiers. It's 45 panels. Anyway, check it out if you're interested in it. If you're interested in it and you want to get it and you want to do it and you want to join our sew along, just let me know. Since I'm doing it on Zoom, I don't have a limit like I thought I was going to have. So there is room. And Leslie, you said you embroidered Walmart Christmas stockings last year. You embroidered the names on your goddaughters and grandkids on Walmart $2.99 stocking, and they love them because they were personalized. Oh, I've done that. I've embroidered on stockings that I purchased either from Walmart or matter of fact, I think I got all of them that I stitched on from Walmart. But yeah, I've done that. Put personalized it and everything. But I've not actually made one from scratch, is what I'm saying. Made the entire stocking itself. And that's what I'm thinking about doing, thinking about it, because I have extra fabric. And I mean, I have a lot of fabric left over that will match up my skirt. And that's the reason why I was thinking about doing that. Deborah, you said you've made several lap quilts over the years, not intimidated by them anymore, and but you are intimidated by the tree skirt. No, no, don't be. And Leslie, fast frames made it possible. Yeah, yeah, that's what I use exactly for the stockings in order to stitch on it. I use the Durkee fast frames. Yes. And Carol, our machines done our machines alone cost so much people don't that's the truth. They do not. And Robin's telling Deborah, don't be intimidated. It's a lot of fun. It is. And it's done in section. Exactly. Girl, get the design and come on and join us. We'll hold your hand. It's not, don't be afraid. I'm serious. Don't be afraid. Now I tell you, I'm gonna be honest about it and upfront and candid since we're talking about it. My and I don't want to call it a fear, but my concern is making sure I have all of my seams straight and in the right side. I want that 1/2 inch all the way around on every piece, and I want to be able to stitch it straight. That's my biggest concern because that's where my weakness is, and I know what my weakness is. Not to say I can't do it. I just know that that's not something that's my strong suit. However, what I do anticipate, by the time I get done cutting out all 45 of these pieces, I'm gonna be a lot better than I was before I started. That's the truth. Because cutting them out and stitching them up and making sure everything lines up properly is going to be it's going to be a job, and that's where my concern is. The embroidering part and all that kind of stuff is fun. It's not a big deal. It's fun. Putting the whole thing together is what I'm going to have to pay the most attention to because I want everything to be precise. I want every seam to match. I don't want anything here or there, or up a notch or whatever. I want everything to be precise all the way around, all of my seams exact and everything. And that's where I have my little concern at. And that's where I'm going to be reaching out to you guys for help. Those of you like Becky, like and Robin, you guys are quilters and what have you, where you can kind of help us with whatever tricks of the trades that you have that can help us do that better. And Leslie, you said you made a stocking from scratch, but they were small. You did the largest design by Juju Design. See, I um I did a little presentation and I showed the design by Juju stocking in the hoop. And I had said, I thought about it, but I do know those in the hoop things are small because I did an in the hoop baby bib uh, way back. Um, and it was like doll size. It was so small. I made it for a customer, but it was a brand new baby, an infant. And I said that's the only thing that if you were not a doll, you would have to be a newborn infant to wear these um, bibs, and it was the largest size. I don't even know why they even make those in the hoop bibs and stuff because they're too small. They're too small. By the time I made it and turned it and everything, that thing wasn't too much bigger than my hand. It was like, come on now, this little bitty thing. It was cute. It was really cute, but it was small. Like, come on. And I didn't realize how small it was going to be until I did it. You know, it makes sense it's going to be small, but I don't even do them anymore. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore. Um, because they are small. Even like the little purse, like we were talking about the Converse sneaker purse. When you're done with it, it's 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 not tiny. You can put a phone in it. You could put your keys in it. You could put a compact and some lipstick in it. You could put your little, if you got a little thin wallet or something in it, because you can make it as a wristlet or you can make it as a crossbody. But it is small. It's lightweight, but it is small. But it's something that you can use. It is usable. So but that's with the largest size, and I think her largest size is uh 8 by 10. I think that's the largest size she goes up to. I wouldn't even do the 5 by 7. To me, that's just a waste of time and money. I always buy her largest design and get that size. Uh, Leslie, you said you and Jeanette must have made that same design. It said it was doll size too. It was. If you get that, yeah, it was doll size. That's all I can say. When I made that thing, I cracked up. I said, "Ain't no baby wear this thing." The first one the second one I made, I think I don't know how I figured out, but I made it just a tad bit bigger. Some kind of way, I don't know how I did it, but I made it a tad bit bigger. But again, it was for an infant. It was for literally a fresh, brand new born baby, because that's only size child that could use that bib. Uh, you know, a week old baby. Once the baby got 2, 3 weeks old, that bib was too little. It was too little. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we must have made the same one. Um, but did it cover what was needed to be covered? Um, you got to get the thing around the baby's neck. That's no phone size of a phone, maybe just a tad bit wider than this phone. It's just that little. I'm telling you, it's little, and then you got to get it around the baby's neck, and it had the little curve, and then you put the snap on. It wasn't like a tie where you could have a little room. This was a curve and it had a little snap or button or however you wanted to close it. So the hole was so small, it wasn't gonna fit around that poor child's neck without choking them to death. So it was small, very very small, and I don't remember what designer that I bought it from, but it really doesn't matter because I think all of those that come in the hoop, because I think this one was like a 8 by 11, whatever size my hoop, it was the size of my big hoop, and that's what you get. That's what you get. So it's little. Now I have seen some bibs that you can put them in pieces. They got the bottom half, the top half, and then you add on the neck thing. Now those make sense because it's bigger. Now what Eve did, and I did that the next time, Eve traced out a regular size bib on. She loves to go to the $1.25 store now and get those placemat things, plastic, and she cut it out for her template because she's gonna use it over and over because that's how her name came about, Baby Booty. She started off doing baby clothes and baby bibs and all of that kind of stuff. That's how she got started. But anyway, she recommended do that, and so the bib that I made doing that was the nice size bib. It was a nice size bib. But if you do that in the hoop thing, that don't work. That's way too small. And London, maybe a preemie could use it. Yeah, you could make it and give it to the hospitals in the NICU, something like that's a good idea. Make it for the preemies because that's the only ones that really would get any use out of it. Yeah, that would be a really good idea to don't make them and donate them to a NICU hospital. make some cute little bib doll bibs because that's what they are. They're doll bibs. Yeah. So, so does anybody like Veronica, Deborah? Are you guys thinking about doing the Christmas skirts? Because if you are, you can let me know if you want to join our little uh, group. Because we're at all different stages. We're at all different stages. Some haven't started. Some are more advanced than the other. Some have, several panels done. Some have only a few because people work, people don't work, and what have you. So we're not at we're not so regimented to the point where it's too late to join because we've only had one meeting. Tomorrow night will be our second meeting. So if you're interested and you want to join, if you let me know, I'm going to put my, I think I already have it, my email address. It's going across, it's scrolling across. If you're interested and you want to join, if you email me and let me know, that way I can invite you um, into the group if that's something that you want to do. And but of course you got to get all your stuff. Like I told everybody that was doing my recommendation is to get all your stuff, get your stuff cut out, get prepared. And you don't have to cut out all 45 pieces. I did. But as long as you got enough stuff cut and ready to go for the night of the sew along, so you'll be able to do something. Not wait until the night of the sew along to start cutting out and stuff like that because you won't have time to sew. You're too busy doing the prep. So do your prep work before the sew along. That way you'll have time to sew. And okay, Veronica, you don't want to do it. Okay, that's fine. And Deborah, I don't know if you were interested in it, but like I said, just let me know if you are, if you're still on here. Maybe uh, the next one that we decide to get together and do, you guys can join in or whatever, because I'm sure we'll do more. Because I think everybody's kind of enjoying this one. For some crazy reason, we decided to do one of the hardest, well, I don't want to say hardest, but one of the most time consuming one to be our first sew along project. Because we've set ourselves up for 10 weeks because it's going to take at least I think, for everything to get done, I think it's going to take at least the 10 weeks to get everything done. Um, and that's even with people doing stuff outside of the sew along. Because if you just wait until the sew along, you're not going to get done. You're going to have to do some stuff. Karen, when you were deciding your color scheme for the tree skirt, you Googled that and you saw the North Pole Juju come up under images and we're on sale for $350. So you saw that. You saw that. Okay, Deborah, you'll email me. Okay, great. Thank you. And yeah, I saw that $350. That's cheap. That's cheap. Whoever's doing it for $350, bless your heart. Bless your heart. That's okay. I mean, you can do it for the $350 if you want to, but that wouldn't be me. I'm just saying that would not be me because I just think I personally think it's worth more. I do. Veronica, you say you too slow. What does that mean? you're not. I don't know what that means. I know you probably feel like you can't keep up with us. Um, and I'm glad, Robin, you're saying that you don't have to be fast because like I said, we're it's not a regimented um, get together. We're not saying, okay, you got to have this done, and you didn't get that done, and you're behind, and this that. No, everybody's moving at their own pace. If you do one a week, that's all on you. If you want to get done by the end of the 10 weeks, then of course you got to do more. But you don't have to. You can. It's just the camaraderie and it's also the help because we ask questions, people share information, they share the tools that they're using, they're sharing the techniques that they're using, stuff like that. So it's not a race, it's not a set thing. And like Leslie is saying herself, that's why she started with Nativity Tree Skirt because she didn't want to tackle the North Pole. She'll tackle that next year, which is fine. If you want to do it, Veronica, get the Nativity because there's no applique in it at all. It's just all embroidery. The whole thing is just embroidery. And with that being said, you probably could catch up with some of the people that are already doing it. So you don't have to worry about any kind of cutting anything out other than you got to cut your 45 panels out and all that kind of stuff just to get it together. But you don't have to, cut out the applique and stuff like that, like those of us that are doing the North Pole. Now, I chose the North Pole because I think it's cute. That's why I did it. I love the North Pole. I think it's really cute. I have the nativity, and I might do the nativity next year because I also think that it's cute, and I like the religious sayings on it and stuff. But I just love the North Pole. Now they have the gingerbread, and they have the farmhouse. And I looked at both of those, and they're cute as well. Um, but I'm not interested in either one of those. If I did one at all, I think it would be the farmhouse. The gingerbread they look too similar. Everything is, they're all gingerbread, so they're all the same color. And that did not. It would be cute as a gift if I was giving this to a kid. If I had a granddaughter or some, something like that. Robbie said the gingerbread is really cute. It is cute. I just didn't like that it was all the same color because all the gingerbread same color, and that would be something if I did it. That would definitely be a giveaway. I would not do that for myself. The farmhouse reminded me more of the North Pole. I would venture that way, but for me, I'm doing the if I do another one, it would be Nativity. And Leslie, you said maybe the 350 skirt was the smallest size. I don't think the largest North Pole or Nativity would sell for much more. I don't think anybody's going to want to pay that much. And if I did one, that's a good idea. It would be the smallest one. I would not do, well, I'm not doing the biggest one anyway. I'm doing the middle one. I'm doing the 6 by 10. I did not want to do the 8 by 12 because I thought that was just too big. But the 6 by 10, I think is a perfect size. I don't think I would want to do it any bigger. And I did not want to do the 5 by 7. I thought that was going to be too small. I think the middle one is perfect. But uh, I don't think, even with the smallest one, you're not really, the time is the same, regardless of whether it's big or not. The time is the same. You got to do all the same things. So the only thing that's less is the material. That's where the money is saved, but beyond that, there's nothing saved because the time is the time that it takes. Now and these with the North Pole, they were not the Nativity one. The Nativity one, I could see selling for $350 because you're not putting in as much time because you're not doing the applique. even though you are putting in time and money, you just aren't putting in that extra time that it takes to do the applique. And the appliques are fun. They're not they're not bad because it's not a lot of intricate cutting. They're straight lines. They're straight lines, so it's not a whole lot of like that Kimberbell pillow thing I did. That was a mess. Hi, Trisha. Late to the party. Yes, you are, girl. We about to shut up. But hi, thanks for stopping in. I do appreciate you stopping in. I guess you looked up and saw we were still here. Yeah, but it's 10:07, so it's kind of time to shut down, wind down, and move on. Leslie, you said what did you say? You're doing the largest nativity skirt, and some of the less detailed blocks are about 15 minutes each. Yeah, yeah. Hi, Mary. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, you late too. You're popping in. You're popping in right at the tail end. But yeah, and you watch the replay. Yeah. But but I know Andrew was telling me, and she's doing a big one. She was saying something about 18 minutes. And I was like, I don't have anything that takes 18 minutes to stitch. Carol, it's our 42nd anniversary. Well, congratulations. And you both had to work. And thank you all for keeping me company while I work tonight. And Linda. Okay, I got Trisha. Who else? Linda and Mary popped in at the last minute. Well, thanks for stopping in. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate anybody that stops in and says hi. And of course, you can always look at the replay if you missed anything. And we talked about in the hoop and appliques because we're kind of caught up in the hoop and applique situation right now doing our sew along. And I just thought about the phobia that I had with appliques for a while until I got past that. So that's what I was trying to tell Veronica and some other people that haven't done certain things is just jump right in with both feet and do it. And get your design. Don't get anything too complicated. Find a video because there's tons of them out there. Trust and believe me, I don't think it's anything that I wanted to do that I haven't found a video that somebody has done it. And sometimes you find three or four. Some people do better than others. Some people explain it better than others. And so just do your research and then do it. Go ahead and do it because if you mess it up, who cares? Try it again until you get it right. That's what I've done. Trust and believe me, I've messed up a lot of stuff. And this didn't come out right. I got to throw this away. I got to cut this loose. I got to cut it out the hoop because I stitched it together. I've done it all. I've done it all. It happens. That's all part of the learning process. So, just do it. And Leslie, you say you're comfortable with applique after the mug rugs and the paper towel. I haven't done paper towels yet. I'm going to do a paper towel and I'm going to do the hoodie thing for my great granddaughter. That's my plan. Eventually, not going to do it right now, but eventually I will do that. And good night, Rob. Uh, Linda, you say you need to do some of both. The list is long. Yeah, I um I I have a long list of things that I want to do, and my list keeps growing. You see something somebody's done or you heard about it or whatever, and then your list grows. I want to try that. I want to try this, and just taking the time and getting around to it. Because I definitely have a list of things that I want to try. I have projects sitting in my project bin that have been in my project bin for over a year. Just like this skirt, bought the skirt last year. Bought the design for the skirt last year, never pulled it out, never looked at it to see what all it entailed until we decided we were going to do it. And then I looked at it, and that's when I was like, oh, my, OMG, is this something we really want to do? 45, 45 pieces. Are you serious? But we jumped into it, and now we're doing it, and I'm glad that we did because I like it. I am enjoying myself, and I am looking forward to doing it, and I'm looking forward to seeing the finished project because I know it's just going to be gorgeous, and all of ours are going to be gorgeous, and we're going to parade them out. So I am going to go ahead and shut it down and say good night to everybody. And Mary and Linda and who else came in late? Trisha came in late. Thank you guys for stopping in. Look at the replay tomorrow. And I will talk to everybody, if it's the Lord's will, on Tuesday. And then the group for the so long, I will see you guys tomorrow night. And we're gonna really do some sewing tomorrow night. We can chit chat and talk, but we're gonna fire up the machine right away. We're not gonna, cause we kind of talked and kind of wasted a good 45 minutes or more before we actually started stitching. But I want us to go ahead and get to stitching right away tomorrow so we can get more done. So we'll chit chat, but we'll stitch. So come ready. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. And I'll talk to everybody else next week. So you guys take care. Good night.